There are 3 phone calls sitting on a notepad in front of me right now. Nobody at Medicare is going to suggest you make them. Nobody at Social Security is going to bring them up either. Not because they don't work, because they do, and the moment you dial, it can cost those systems money. By the end of this video, you'll have all 3 numbers, exactly what to say when someone picks up, and why one of them has a deadline that's tighter than you think. Stick around for the 3rd call. It's the one almost nobody knows exists, and it's the one with the biggest swing in either direction. Here's the part that should bother you a little. 3 numbers on your Medicare and Social Security file get recalculated automatically every single year. Your Part B premium, your IRMAA surcharge if you have one, and your lifetime earnings record. All 3 run on autopilot. None of the 3 systems that calculate them has a step that says, "This might be wrong for this person, flag it and call them." Fixing it costs the system money, so nothing in the system is built to suggest fixing it. That's the gap these 3 calls exist to close. Let me put a number on it before we go further. In 2026, the standard Medicare Part B premium is $202.90 a month, up from $185, which is roughly a 9.7% jump. The Social Security cost of living raise for 2026 was 2.8%. Source: CMS SSA, linked below. Do that math for a minute and you'll see why this matters more this year than most. Picture a 69-year-old retired nurse, call her Diane, in Memphis, who'd been on Medicare for 4 years, paying her Part B premium every month without a second thought. In a waiting room one day, another patient mentioned she hadn't paid a Medicare premium in 2 years. Diane asked why, got pointed toward something called the Medicare Savings Program, went home, checked her income against the limits, and realized she'd likely qualified the entire time. 3 calls, 1 week, no lawyer. Her Part B premium dropped to 0, and her monthly Social Security income went up, permanently. That's the shape of what we're talking about, and it's the kind of story that plays out for real people every single day, even if Diane herself is illustrative. Here's why this keeps happening to people who'd otherwise never miss a bill. Medicare itself is run by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. The Medicare Savings Program, the one that can zero out your Part B premium, is run by your state's Medicaid office. Social Security runs the 3rd system entirely separately. 3 agencies, 3 databases. None of them automatically checks the others for someone who might qualify. The Medicare Savings Program has existed since the late 1980s, created by Congress to help lower-income seniors. But outreach was never centrally funded, so it just sits there, worth real money every month, while eligible people keep paying premiums they don't have to. Now let's get into the 3 calls, starting with the one most people have never even thought to make. Call 1, Social Security Administration, 1-800-772-1213. Say, "I'd like to request my complete earnings history and check it for discrepancies." Your benefit is calculated from your 35 highest earning years, and every single year on that record came from a wage report your employer filed. Especially before electronic filing became standard, errors crept in, transposed numbers, skipped years, an employer that closed before filing a final report. Each missing or undercounted year can permanently reduce your monthly benefit by roughly $100. Run that across 20 years of retirement, and you're looking at over $24,000 left on the table for a fix that costs nothing. Before you even call, log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and compare each year's earnings against any W-2, tax return, or pay stub you can find. Any year that's blank or looks too low is worth flagging. That's literally the question nobody at Social Security is going to ask you first. Call 2. 1-800-MEDICARE, that's 1-800-633-4227. Say, "I'd like to apply for the Medicare Savings Program and find out which level I qualify for." This call doesn't go to Social Security at all, which is exactly why so many eligible people never make it. There are 3 tiers, and the income limits are higher than most people assume. The top tier, QMB, doesn't just zero out your Part B premium. It covers your deductible and every Medicare copay and coinsurance amount too. Depending on your situation, annual savings can run from roughly $2,500 to $6,000. SLMB covers the Part B premium alone, which by itself is worth about $2,434 a year at 2026 rates. And here's a real legal protection most people don't know about. A provider isn't allowed to bill a QMB enrollee directly for Medicare-covered costs. If that happens, it's reportable. The QI tier also wipes out the Part B premium, but funding is capped and handed out first come, first served each year. If you're in that income range, applying in January or February, not June, is the difference between getting it and not. The application itself is a single form through your state Medicaid office. About 15 minutes. That's it. Call 3. Back to Social Security. 1-800-772-1213. This is the one I want you to actually pay attention to because it's the one with the least incentive for anyone on the other end of the line to ever bring up. IRMAA, the income-related monthly adjustment amount, is a surcharge added to your Part B premium if your income 2 years ago crossed certain thresholds. For 2026, that means your 2024 income is what's being used right now, today, on your bill. Here's the trap inside that table. Your surcharge is locked to income from 2 years ago. If a spouse passed away, if your pension income dropped, your surcharge has not automatically caught up. You could be paying for a life you no longer have, and nobody recalculates it for you unless you ask. Form SSA 44 exists specifically to let you document a current, lower income after one of these events and have your surcharge recalculated. The qualifying events are specific: marriage, divorce or annulment, death of a spouse, work stoppage, reduced work hours, loss of income from property, loss or reduction of pension income, or an employer settlement payment tied to a plan closure. I want to be precise here because this is where people get it wrong. Voluntarily selling a house or stock is not a qualifying event on its own. The property loss category covers things like disasters, fraud, or theft, not a sale you chose to make. Know the difference before you call, or the office will know it for you. Now here's the bigger picture, because this isn't an isolated detail. The Part B premium jumped almost 10% this year. The Social Security raise was 2.8%. A real chunk of that raise was absorbed before it ever reached anyone's bank account. If you qualify for the Medicare Savings Program and haven't applied, that increase landed on a bill your state was supposed to be covering. If your IRMAA surcharge is outdated, it landed on a number that no longer reflects your actual life. And if there's a gap in your earnings record, it's one more year of an understated check, compounding every year you don't fix it. So, 3 calls. 1 to verify your earnings record, 1 to your state's Medicare Savings Program office, 1 back to Social Security for Form SSA 44, if it applies to you. None of these calls require anything you don't already have. None of them cost $1. And none of the people on the other end of those lines are ever going to dial first. That's not a flaw in their training, it's just how the systems are built. If this helped, send it to a retiree in your life who's never checked any of these 3. For a lot of people, the only thing standing between them and a meaningfully larger monthly check is making the calls nobody told them to make. I'm back next time with the next one nobody's talking about.